Today, I'm installing a CP3 R70 pump into my Mark 6 TDI. This pump is gorgeous, and what it's going to do is allow me to add more fuel, which equals more power, into my Mark 6 TDI daily. This beautiful CP3 pump was sent over to me by the good people over at Performance TDI in Canada, along with this bracket. And watch when I pop this off, my name is laser engraved into the bracket. With this bracket now removed, we could do some modifications, and I could show you guys how I got tilted TDI laser etched from the bottom, Performance TDI up top. This was the first ever bracket they made over 3 years ago, and they sent over to me kind of just to test it out on the car, but unfortunately I wasn't able to test it out because Mark 6 was my only driving car at the time, and I wasn't able to just like rip the fuel system out and just find out willy-nilly. But now we got around to putting it on. I had to just do a few modifications, like shave down the threads on the inside, and I think we're gonna chop down these threads just a little bit so the timing belt doesn't actually come in contact with it. This was like their first ever. Now they have like actual legitimate brackets, and yeah, I haven't been able to contact them since they sent me this. So it's been 3 years since I talked to them, but I'm gonna get this bracket to work. And the first thing I'm going to do to this beautiful bracket is literally spray paint it. I know a lot of you guys are probably screaming at your screens right now, why'd you do that? That bracket was stainless. This is a sandwich plate, so all you're gonna see is the outer edge, and I would much rather have a flat black as the in-between sandwich plate rather than a stainless plate that kind of looks out of place. Now I got my CP3 pump and my mount. I'm gonna marry them together with the provided bolts, and I'm actually going to use a torque wrench because we're gonna make this. Well, there you go, guys. I've got the bracket mounted to the actual CP3 pump. We've got a little bit of blue Loctite on there. We used the torque wrench, tighten that down to 18 foot-pounds. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and actually mount this into the car. Wow, that just went in so smooth, and that's why you prep before you film. I got all my clearances right on the bolts, and now you guys can see why I actually made that sandwich plate black. I just feel like that just black, silver, it just makes it, everything just look good, uniform, great, and no complaints. So now we've got to go ahead and attach these two bolts here, one onto this stud here, and with this nut that's going to go on this little stud, I definitely want to get Loctite on there because, well, that's the only thing that could fail in this whole system is this nut falling off. So you want to make sure to get Loctite on there. Now, this isn't a tutorial video, but I did tighten these down to 18 foot-pounds, just like the outside ones. And this inner one is 74 foot-pounds. I don't have the proper tool to hold this. So, I don't have the proper tool, okay? We're gonna make this work anyway. With these CP3 conversions, you actually wind up using the same gear for the CP3, but this inner cog and hub is spaced perfectly to match up with this, so it misaligns this and makes it absolutely perfect. Basically, we'll call this a misalignment spacer hub, and this is all just going to bolt right back up as if it was stock with that nut that's provided, and this should just bolt right up. Okay, well, I got the bolt out, and I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. For this next attempt, I got a non-stretch bolt, which is the same thread. Oh, that's gonna bend the screwdriver. At the moment, this is just an idea, but I got a new grinder, and these two tabs are the perfect width to fit right in those two thread holes. Oh, fuck, that hurt. Damn, this thing fucking broke. So I've got a camber ball joint extension. I've got the original bolt. I'm gonna go like this and tighten this up. See how that centers out? It then gets pinched right here. And if I'm not wrong, this won't be able to move, and I'll just be able to tighten that. Will be good. All right, well, 77 foot-pounds. If this works, we can move on to actually getting the timing set right. So just be positive. Dude! Y'all, come on. Come on, y'all. That. Y'all, come on now. Come on now. So I guess now that you guys have seen, if you are in a pinch and you have metal, you can make a wedge. I wouldn't recommend it for your CP3 pump, but my name's Alex Wittick, and I'm living on a budget right now. So let's move on to getting this thing timed right. Just so I don't concern anybody, I want to just do a little thread test, show everybody that the threads are still good. Awesome. Okay, good. Perfect. So now we can get to the sugar and honey. Okay, I want to clear up some confusion with everybody that might have some concern. So this is the stock CP4 pump, hub, cog, whatever you want to call it, where the gear slides onto. We're no longer using that, and there's no longer going to be a need for setting the torsion value on this gear. That's why we have such a big window here. So you don't even have to set the torsion value. I'm literally just going to make these kind of loose, get the belt on there, and then I can tighten up however I want, because that CP3 pump is going to continuously fire, unlike the CP4 where you have to add its timing into this fuel system. I could be wrong, and we could find out the hard way when I go to start this up in about 2 to 3 weeks. But for now, I guess watch me put this together, and if you know better than I do, watch me fail. I got the bolts on the CP3 all loosey-goosey, but pretty much shouldered up with the gear. So once that all goes back together, just have to torque those down. The crank is currently locked. So now it's time for us to actually get this belt back up into place and start setting things up right. I didn't think I would see this moment, but we got our marks at the bottom lined back up. This timing belt is lined up on the gear. Same with the top. I've actually never made marks like this, but I think it's super cool because you're actually keeping the belt on the same teeth it's been riding on. Kind of makes sense. And everything is loosely fitted. I didn't torque these down. I didn't torque these down. I didn't torque anything down. And I've never retimed a common rail before. PD is super easy, probably the same here, especially now that I don't actually have to get the torsion value right on this fuel pump. But I am going to watch a video to double check that. And if I have to make any changes, I will before finally tighten this all up. So after some Google searching, I found out that this is 18 foot-pounds. And then this big roller is 37 plus 90 degrees. And then for the 90 degrees, I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then this tensioner nut is 15 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. So I can't get a torque wrench in there. I'm gonna eyeball it. But before we can eyeball it, we have to remove tension from these sprocket bolts. Then we gotta remove the locking pin. I'm literally just using a clip tool. Same thing for the bottom. And then I grab this 6mm, and I'm trying to get that in the center of that window. So it's really not hard. Don't be afraid to just send it. Everything looks good. That's on the roller. Everything's torqued. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just time to just send it, so. All right, I gotta reposition this. Sweet, I've got this cut down 6mm, which is gonna fit in there way easier. It's a really tight area, and it's annoying to fit things into, so. Now we got it set in there instead of doing it up straight up. And even just with 2 fingers, you can see I set that right in there like that. Now that I've got the pointer at the center of the window, I can tighten this up to hand spec. I mean, it says 15 pounds plus 45 or 90 degrees. I'll look at the spec, but right now we're just 1 finger in it. And I'm pretty good with knowing torque spec. It's a big guessing game at the end of the day. Even the machine is guessing. But yeah, I'm just gonna say that that's it. That's probably like 25 foot-pounds. Now I'm gonna get the cam back locked into place. I've done this portion so many times, setting torsion values. I mean, you can do the torque specs, 15 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees, but literally, this is like what I do on the PDs. Yeah, that's good. I'm calling that good. All right, sweet. I got these tightened down, 15 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. Did not film it. Honestly, wasn't thinking, but I did it. You should do a happy go round. You should do a lap. But this engine has 0 oil in it. When the turbo exploded, all the oil gone. So, and the fuel system isn't hooked up. So I'm not going to do that. Once the fuel system is officially hooked up and I figure out if I'm going to change the valve cover gasket, there's a few things I want to figure out if I'm going to do, like the wiring harness. Not sure if I'm going to rip it out. So this was a little bit overzealous, but I want to get the turbo on next. And probably won't do any of that stuff, but I want to get turbo on, get all the oil lines going to that. And then I'll worry about the actual fuel system. So we're not going to be hooking the fuel lines up to this today. So honestly, everything here looks good. I'm not going to put any of the covers on. I'm just going to wait until the vehicle's almost completely done because I want to be able to spin this, true up my timing belt, make sure that everything is good. Once the oil's in there, I'm literally going to make sure that this thing rotates like 15 times by hand. I'm just going to have a wrench on the crank and just go around and make sure nothing is wrong. So everything looks good here. I'm happy with where it's at. So on that note, I'm going to end today's video. Please let me know if there's anything you guys would change about this. Like, this isn't really a vlog, but it's also not really like it's not a how-to. It's literally just me working in the garage. I'm not used to filming YouTube videos, and I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to say that until I'm actually ready to say that I'm like a YouTuber. I don't know. I film so much short form. This YouTube stuff is so weird, but I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I think it's doing pretty well. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please press some buttons. And if you would change anything, just let me know. I'm always open to listening, hearing, and I just love working on cars and sharing with you. So on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.